Hello, it's Phil Thatch. Just a quick video for you today. This is another one of those photographs that I was prompted to make while hanging out on the David Saylor's and Aaron Lyfe live stream that happens over on David Saylor's channel. This week, the previous 2 weeks, David has come up with the photo challenge, and this week it was Aaron's idea, and Aaron decided that what he thought we should try to work on is watch photography, which I don't know anything at all about watch photography, and I really am not much of a watch collector, but I do have one watch that I'm pretty happy to own. I'll never wear it, but I do like it because I'm kind of a Mazda nut, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in just a moment. But first, I want to talk to you about what gear I used. I always try to use something unusual, not my regular thing for these, or not always, but usually try to use something a little bit different for these photo challenges on David Saylor's YouTube channel, The Georgia Photographer. And this time I'm going to be, or I used the very first DSLR I ever bought. This is a Nikon D7000. I had some digital cameras before this, but they were really kind of point and shoot sort of things, but this was the first real camera I ever bought, and I bought it back when there were Ritz camera stores at the mall around here. But it's a D7000, and you know, it's such an awesome camera. It was getting great reviews, and that's why I ended up with Nikon, because this camera was so good in its day. You know, if the Canon cameras of the day were getting the best reviews, I'd probably be a Canon guy right now. But I started out with this Nikon camera, and I've stuck with Nikon the whole time. But it's an APS-C censored camera, very full featured, and I bought, the day that I bought it, I bought a memory card, of course, 2 batteries, the kit lens, which was an 18-105 variable aperture vibration reduction lens. And I also, because I had the idea that I wanted to get into bird photography, I also bought this, this very inexpensive 55mm to 300mm f4.5 to 5.6 G VR telephoto lens, which I always struggled to use this particular lens for bird photography. And I think it's, you know, these days I could probably get a relatively decent bird photo with this, because, you know, now I've had 9 years of being absolutely obsessed about photography. But when I first had this, I really struggled so much. But this is the camera and lens combination I used to make this photograph of this watch, and I'll tell you some more about that now. Back in 2011, when I bought that camera, photography was not my #1 hobby. My #1 hobby was sports cars, and specifically the Mazda MX5 Miata Roadster sports car. I used to do Sports Car Club of America autocross Solo 2 racing and that sort of thing, and I was really ate up with that, and I collected. I didn't collect, but I've owned 4 Miatas that I drove over the course of a decade. Many of them. Now, I never owned a 10th anniversary edition, the 1999 10th anniversary edition, but I was able to acquire for a reasonable price the little gift set that comes with the 1999 10th anniversary edition Mazda. And here it is right here. Comes in this nice felt box, and as I open it up, inside there are 2 10th anniversary edition Mazda Miata MX5 SEIKO watches, a men's and a women's. There's also a little model of the car, and the car was really cool. It was the first Miata to have a 6-speed manual transmission. It was in this beautiful sapphire blue color. The seats were 2-tone black and blue leather. The steering wheel was 2-tone black and blue leather. It had a blue top, chrome wheels. It was really cool. They made, I think, 7,500 of these, and 3,500 of them were sold in the United States. And they all came with these watch sets with the little car. Let's see, it also came with a, if I can get it out of here, it also came with a 10th anniversary Miata keychain. So I've got the full set, and really happy to have it. I'll probably never part with it. It's just really cool, and I was excited, even though I'm not a watch guy at all, I was excited that I had a watch that I really, really like to photograph for the David Saylor's Aaron Lyfe Photography Challenge. The photo was made using my product photography studio, which I made out of a cardboard box, and I'll put a link to the video above showing how I made this. As always with the product photography studio, the lighting was provided by a $5 Walmart LED lamp. The settings I used for the photo were 300 millimeters on the lens, f9, 2 seconds exposure time, and 100 ISO. After just a brief edit in Adobe Camera Raw, I came up with this version of the photograph. I cropped it square and I really liked it, but I thought about last week's image and how when I turned in my selfie image for last week's photo challenge, and I'll show you that now, I made 2 copies of it and mirror imaged it to where I was looking at myself with my whatever that is in my hand. And I got to thinking, well, I wonder how I could do 2 copies of the watch, because it looks kind of simple, just the one, and it's kind of nice just the one, but I wonder what would happen. What could I change about it? I don't want to mirror image it. What could I do? So I got to goofing around and I ended up going to image, adjustments, and invert. And I was like, wow, that looks really super cool. Maybe I can make a copy of it with the normal colors and a copy of it with inverted colors. So I put a second copy in Photoshop the original way, and you go to image, canvas size, and first thing you want to do is adjust the anchor. And if you put it like this to where the arrows are only pointing in this direction, then if you add width, it'll only go to the left. If you do it that way, it'll only go to the right. But I want to put the black watch to the left, so we want it like this. So we want to increase the canvas size. We want to do pixels, and we want to double the number of pixels. So it's 3264, so we'll do 3264 more to double it. And there we go. Now our canvas is twice that size. And now we'll go back and take a look at our inverted watch, and we'll click on the move tool up here on the top left, and we'll click on it and drag it over to our increased canvas picture and drop it. Move it perfectly into place. And there you have it. That is my watch entry. I did end up putting the settings on it, and I'll show it to you with the settings now. You know, normally if you invert a photograph, it looks absolutely horrible. Sometimes I'll invert something to make text that was black, white, or vice versa. But this is the first time I've ever inverted an actual photograph and been pleased with the way it turned out. I just love the way on the picture on the right, the area near the 50, the 10, the 40, and the 20 is almost blown out, super white, so it's super dark on the other one. And the colors all seem to go together, even though this watch has never been created, and the black areas, it almost looks like it's backlit on the black watch. It's just really cool the way it turned out, and I'm totally happy with it. This is what happens when you start working on a video during the daytime, and then you stop for a little bit to have dinner with your family, and you come back to finish it, and now it's dark. So that's why things look a little different now than they did at the beginning. But anyway, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And also, you might want to consider tuning in on the David Saylor's live streams. They happen, I'm not sure how long they'll be happening, but lately they've been happening on Thursday nights at 5:30 United States of America Eastern Time. He issues these photo challenges, and maybe you can participate with us. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.